In this video, I'll be teaching you how to fold origami rabbit, just like this. I'm using a 6-inch square sheet of kami paper, which is just origami paper. If you do not have origami paper, that's okay, fear not. You can also just use printer paper. In the history of origami video, I will go over how to cut a square sheet of paper from an 8.5 by 11 or whatever size you have sheet of printer paper. That being said, any square sheet, 6 inches or more, give or take, is going to work just fine for this model. This is the easier of the two models that I'm going to go over, but they both should be very approachable by beginners to origami. This sheet that I have is blue on one side, white on the other. Since I'm going to be folding a white rabbit object, there's the only reason that I have the blue is though you can tell the difference between the two sides of the paper. It makes it a little bit easier to learn. And I think it'll stand out probably a little bit better from this, but if you only have paper that's the same color on both sides, that's just fine. Okay, so we'll begin with the color that we do not want on the outside of our rabbit facing up. We'll begin then by folding the paper in half so that you get a 2 by 1 rectangle. Just like that. Then we'll unfold and fold it in half the other way. Make sure that you're lining up your corners and your edges before you make the sharp crease. And you can use the back of your thumbnail and the back of the nail on your pointer finger to really sharpen that crease once you've got it in the right place. Now, we've got these two creases forming a cross in the middle of our paper. We're going to fold these two edges to the center line. Some people call this the bookcase fold or something like that. Cupboard fold? Something along those lines. It's not very important. Just like that. And we're going to unfold these. Now we are going to fold both of the diagonals. Again, making sure you line everything up. Now, if we had our cupboard, or these two, like here, we're going to take one of these edges and fold it to the center line, but we don't need to do it on the top. And then, from here, we're going to go ahead and fold these two back in. Just like that. You can see the original corners of the square are still in here. So we're going to take one of these and we're going to begin to kind of slide it outwards like this. I'll show that again. Reach in there, grab that corner, and pull it out like this. And it should want to kind of form this flap based on the diagonal crease that we made before. Once you've got it pulled out, you can flatten it like that. We'll do the same thing over here. Find that corner on the inside, pull it out, form a flap, squash it flat. Brilliant. Now, we're going to fold this whole region up along this crease. Like that. So these two corners, which are going to be the ears, and go all the way up to the top. And then we'll fold, we're going to make a fold that goes through these 2 points, right here and right here. And it's going to bring this edge down to this edge, this point to this point, just like that. We're going to do something similar to what we did before, where we're going to pull out a layer here. So you can kind of grab this raw edge of the paper and pull it out. And you'll see that the paper kind of becomes 3D for a second. Then you can pinch right here, bring this back down, and then close it shut. Perfect. Next, we're going to take this flap. We're going to fold it over like that, so it's out of the way. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to fold this edge down to this one. We're going to open this up, pull out the paper. There's a crease right here. We're going to pinch that, put this back down, and then make those creases. The next thing we need to do is to make the front feet of our rabbit. So we've got this flap here. We're going to take this edge and this edge, one at a time, and fold them down to this center crease. That's one, and we'll unfold, do it again over here. We'll take this edge, fold it to that crease. Now, we're going to bring these two creases together at the same time. This is what's called a rabbit ear fold, even though we're not using it in this case to make the ears of our rabbit. But we're going to bring them both in kind of together. When you do that, you'll notice that this point in the middle, it's either going to poke up, or in my case, it got squished down here like this. If it got squished down there, pop it out like that, so that it's poking up. Then when you bring these two together, it's going to poke up, just like that. Then you can make a new crease that goes from here to its tip by pinching it. Just like that. Then you can fold this new flap down. Before we go to the other side, we're going to flip this over. And now over here, we're going to take this corner and fold it in along this crease. You'll see that's going to expose the foot of our rabbit. We'll flip it back over, fold the two ears to the right, and repeat that same process to get this foot. So we'll fold this edge to the center line. We'll unfold that. Now we'll fold this edge to the center line. Now, as you bring them both together, we've got to deal with that center point. So we'll lift it up and pinch it, just like that. And then we'll fold it down. We'll flip this over, fold this corner to that one along this crease as before. Now we're getting close. We'll flip this back over. We're going to take this whole edge and we're going to fold it this way. We want it to be we're going to take this whole edge and we'll fold it in. We want it to go up about 1/3 of the way. The exact distance isn't critical. Just like that. And then we'll crease that nice and sharp. We'll flip this over and we're going to make a fold that runs through this point, and it's going to go perpendicular to this side here. So the fold's going to be about like that. And you can do that just by making sure that this edge lands on that edge. Now we're going to release the hind foot, so you can kind of lift up this little bit here. And if you have a pen or something, that makes this a little bit easier to kind of open up this pocket, just like that. And then you can squash it down. I'm going to squash it so that the crease runs through this point on the tip of the foot. Just like that. So then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to take this edge, fold it over like before, so this edge lies in this one, and the fold we're making is going to be perpendicular. And then if you want to use a pen or a toothpick or something to open up this layer, that makes it a little easier, so you can squash it like that and get the other leg in place. We're going to fold this whole thing in half like this, and make sure the ears are free when you do it. The last thing we have to do is to make the tail. So we'll begin by folding this flap down like that. And then we'll fold it back up roughly 1/3 of the way. So you've got this little triangle sticking out. Crease that nice and sharp, and we'll unfold. And we're going to open this up from the bottom and do an inside reverse fold along that first one, first crease, like this. Pinch that. And then we're going to inside reverse fold this tip back out along that second crease, like that. So you've got a tail. And then you're complete.